People believe power is loud. They imagine power as visibility, names in headlines, faces on magazine covers, rankings on rich lists. That belief alone keeps most people powerless. Real power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't compete for attention. And it never explains what it's doing. The people with real power don't want recognition. They want leverage. Leverage over decisions. Leverage over timing. Leverage over who gets access and who never does. If you look closely, the richest people you see publicly are rarely the most powerful. They are often the front layer, the visible layer. Behind them sits something quieter. Families, structures, agreements that don't expire, relationships that don't appear on paper. Power operates where there is silence. That's why real influence doesn't live on social media. It lives in rooms you're never invited into, conversations you never hear about, introductions that never get written down. Most people chase money because money feels tangible. Power isn't. Power is the ability to shape outcomes without being seen, to move pieces without touching them, to decide what options even exist for others. That's why powerful people don't argue publicly. They don't defend themselves. They don't explain. Explanation is for people who lack authority. Power simply moves on. This is also why real power avoids speed. Fast growth attracts attention. Attention invites scrutiny. Scrutiny threatens control. So power moves slowly, generationally, quietly. Old structures beat new money almost every time. Not because they're smarter, but because they're patient. They don't need quick wins. They don't need validation. They don't need to prove anything. They think in decades, not years. In bloodlines, not quarters. In permanence, not trends. Most people try to become rich first, then powerful. That order is backwards. Money without power is fragile. It can be taxed, sued, inflated, regulated, or taken. Power without money eventually creates money. That's the difference. Look at who controls rules, not who follows them. Look at who writes policies, not who complains about them. Look at who owns distribution, not who creates content. Creators are visible. Owners are invisible. That's not an accident. Power stays hidden because it works best when it's underestimated. When people think you're irrelevant, you move freely. When they think you're harmless, you gain ground. When they think you're lucky, you stay unchallenged. The loudest people are usually the weakest. The quietest ones already won. And that's the final illusion. You don't rise by being seen. You rise by being positioned. Silence is not absence. It's control. Power, therefore, is less about the spotlight and more about the shadows, cultivating connections, timing strategies, and taking deliberate actions that others cannot perceive. The art of influence requires a mastery of patience, knowing when to act and when to hold back, all while remaining undetected. As a result, true power cultivates a network that speaks for itself, whispers that shape society without ever needing a voice. In the world of influence, those who operate in the background often pull strings unseen, guiding events and shaping outcomes without ever stepping into the limelight. They engage in conversations that remain confidential, strategically placing their trust in select individuals who wield similar discretion. This web of quiet agreements and carefully curated alliances becomes the backbone of lasting power, invisible yet indomitable. While many remain focused on outward success, these power brokers build foundations that withstand the pressures of fleeting popularity, relying instead on their insightful understanding of human dynamics and the unspoken rules that govern society. To wield real authority is to understand not just the mechanics of power, but its essence, an unspoken language of trust and discretion. Those who grasp this know that every relationship forged, every whisper exchanged, adds to their reservoir of influence. They work behind the scenes, building legacies that survive beyond their personal ambitions, ensuring their impact remains felt even when they are not directly associated with the action. when the world looks for the obvious. If this perspective changed how you see wealth and power, stay with this channel. Hidden fortune exists to explain what no one says out loud. Subscribe and watch carefully.